live! We live!
Got that notification.
Hell yeah. Welcome to Speculation Sunday on a Sunday! Let's go! We are joined by the one and only Just Ask Danny. Danny, how are you doing, my friend?
Good. I've had a few times to ride Tiana's now, so we can talk more about it.
Hell yeah. And not even that, just Bayou country in general. Like, so much has changed over there. That corner of Disneyland will never be the same. And in a good way. In a very
in a good way.
Danny, before we get started, any content or podcasts or just anything from your end that people should expect in the upcoming days?
Yes. I filmed a video today at Disneyland with my experience on Tiana, my experience going to the barbecue jamboree, so that'll be up as soon as I can. And then this week, I'm actually going to be putting out 3 podcast episodes.
Damn!
Leading up to episode 100, which is going to be with my original co-host, David Vaughn. He's going to come back, and we're going to do episode 100 just for old time's sake.
Wow, 100! That's crazy. It's crazy to think, dude. That's a lot. It's a lot, dude.
Yeah.
Lot of conversation. Hundreds worth. Thank you all for joining today. Today I really want to focus on Disneyland, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, Ray's Beret, Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree, and there's some speculation going on in that back corner called Winnie the Pooh. And then at the end of all that, I want to do a Q&A and just talk with you guys, have a conversation with whatever you guys want to talk about. And there's some actually cool speculation stuff that's happening at Disneyland too for possibly the 70th. We got Alfred. What do you think of Ice Cube performance before the start of the Dodger game? You know, I didn't have a chance. I wasn't lucky enough to watch the Dodger game like live. I didn't know this happened. It's funny you mention it. I put it on my Twitter. This is one of the most iconic performances I've ever seen. Like, this dude got to rap his song in the middle of Dodger Stadium, World Series championship, and the Dodgers won. How incredible is that? I thought it was badass. Ice Cube at Dodger Stadium, insane. All right. Let's get to it, Danny. You had a chance to ride the one and only Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Before we even get started, I just want to hit like a quick conversation before we go deep into anything. How do you feel about Disneyland telling you to stow your items at the bottom? It literally says on their informational video before you get on the ride, stow your items at your feet or your lap. But there's honestly not a lot of room in between your lap. But then this happened.
Literally drenched in. There's a freaking puddle.
Danny, what does Disney go out of their way to create like cubby holes that are on like the exit side so people can put their stuff in there while they get on the ride? Does Disneyland create lockers somewhere? Does Disneyland even care about this? Where do you stand on it, Danny? Because we're about to go into November, dude. It's cold.
I just I mean, it's Splash Mountain had gotten this way towards the end of its life, and I feel like Tiana's just kind of accentuates that a little bit. Maybe it's the levels of the water, I'm not sure, but it's specific to like the indoor drop where you get shrunken down by Mama Odie.
That's the real problem, honestly.
Yeah. It's like what basically the log comes down, it splashes, sends a wave into the sidewall, and then bounces off the sidewall and comes back into the log, and just essentially fills it up. And sometimes that can happen too on the big drop at the end, depending on the weight of the log. But for the most part, it's not going to fill the log like that, and
Yeah.
unless it's that indoor drop. But it's basically the indoor drop that really you're seeing that wave come in, which was the same too when it was the laughing place for Splash Mountain. It was always the wreck the right side of your body kind of thing with all this water coming in. But yeah, it's basically a poncho must ride, and then
But
not
sandals
only
too.
not only
Sandals
that,
too.
not only
or
that,
Crocs.
like if you put a poncho on, it doesn't really protect your shoes.
Does nothing for your shoes.
Yeah.
Do you think Disneyland cares to put lockers or cubby holes, or it's like they would have done that already?
Yeah, there's no real room for them anywhere. I thought maybe they might add them where the photos are, but what they've done now, and for those that haven't been on it, the area where you used to see your photo on Splash Mountain, it was always kind of like a really bad area. It was really dark and really clogged. Everyone was trying to cram in there to see their photos. It never really worked right. Disney's blocked that off now, and it's just kind of a holding room, maybe for people that are waiting, or maybe it'll be utilized by wheelchair access at one point. It kind of looks like it might be used for wheelchair access, because if you remember in the past for Splash Mountain, wheelchair guests were kind of just waiting off to the side on the exit ramp, and it kind of was a little awkward. And this seems like a good holding space for wheelchair guests.
Yeah.
But now they've moved the photos outside. So the area where you used to buy photos, when you left Splash Mountain and you found your photo and you liked it, that shop is essentially turned into just the photo display window.
Yeah.
So you can see your photos, and they actually have a little queue there, so you can get in the queue and wait your turn to go to the screens, kind of thing.
We got 13 months. Big Brad. Happy Sunday, folks. Can't wait to ride Tiana's in a few weeks. When I go, you will not be disappointed, my friend. That ride is just, it lived up to everything I expected out of that ride. It lived up to it and then surpassed. It really did. But thank you, Big Rags. Fire! I want to get into it now, Danny. I want to get into it. What did you think about the queue? Was the queue enough for you? Was the queue enough for you with Tiana's? We're going to break it all down.
Yeah. The only thing that I'm curious about is Splash Mountain's queue would start over where the Leota's barn gift shop is located.
Yeah,
and
on the other side.
It doesn't seem like Disney really wants people to go that direction anymore. They don't want the splash queue kind of going out there. I mean, I'm sure it will get to that point with extended lines after it first opens.
Yeah.
But it's there's no real you remember that extra little hidden queue that was back there behind the Briar Patch, now Ray's Berets? Remember that little space back there, Mondo? When you were coming down that first lift hill, right after the station, you'd see those people waiting there on the left.
Yep.
That doesn't exist no more. I don't know what happened to that.
It's kind of I don't know if I show it here. Yeah, I really don't show it in this video. That queue portion outside, it still exists.
It does. I just don't. You don't go near it, or
yeah, they have construction walls on the bridge, behind, I guess before Ray's Beret. There's still a queue there. I don't know what's going on. Things are kind of weird with the queue. What I saw happen to me, Danny, is they actually queued us outside where Winnie the Pooh meet and greet is area.
Yeah, they did that today too.
They had the extended queue go that way instead of having the queue go and back up into the bridge and whatever. So it's very interesting. Many different changes are happening from an operational standpoint for Tiana's. What do you think about the kitchen and the beignet smell?
Yeah, I love it. And so today, actually, it's funny that you said that. So, but we brought it up because we thought that you would smell beignets in the queue, and it would make sense that you would smell it right here. But I'm happy to tell you today, Mondo, there was beignet smell
I don't
in
believe
the
it.
track, but it wasn't in the queue. It was actually in the final scene with Mama Odie
Uh,
and Juju.
okay.
When we passed Mama Odie, they were piping out a beignet smell right there, and you could definitely smell it when you passed by her. Not only that, but Mama Odie was working today. Her whole body was moving, her mouth was moving, Juju was working, and there was a beignet smell coming out of that scene. So that I don't know if maybe the original teaser when they were saying that there would be a fresh beignet smell coming from the ride. Um, it would make sense that it would be here in the kitchen, right, where there's fresh beignets literally in front of
She's
you.
making it. She's making it right
But
now. I would think it smells right here.
yeah, but maybe they mean just that scene at the end with Mama Odie. I don't know.
Yeah, I can see
So
that. I could see that. Um, all right, let's get into the ride, Danny. Let's get into meat and potatoes. What are your thoughts? Like beginning, the format of the ride, the music of the ride, animatronics. Did it work for you? Did you hate it? Did you love it?
no,
What do you think, man?
yeah, I love the ride. The only thing I wish they would have done was, and we talked about this too, is like we talked about the just the way that you get wet. We talked about maybe like if they could have changed the curvature of some of the walls so that there's not that bounce back of water into the boat, so that kind of stuff. But everything, the storyline seems pretty self explanatory if you kind of know it. You know, Tiana's Foods is her business, right? And it's grown to a point where she needs to expand, so they bought this abandoned salt mine, and her the headquarters of that salt mine is turned into her business headquarters. But she's also got like all this extra stuff that's the salt mine itself. And so when you're getting closer to like where her business is at, in her office and her kitchen, the salt mines are attached to it. So you see signs kind of telling you, oh, you're about to enter the salt mines, like, make beware kind of stuff. And then they transformed that space of the queue into like a salt mine. And if you ever Googled the salt mine, it looks pretty similar to what they made, right? They've got, really colorful painted walls, and all the white parts of the wall are like crystally and shining. You can see like little salt crystals like on the walls themselves. And it works. It works. One thing I did notice right away is they closed off the attraction from the queue. You used to be able to see like Brer Rabbit from
I
inside the queue. I
know.
was telling Mondo that when we were in line, and they closed off, so there's no like you can't see Mama Odie. Um, I think it just doesn't thematically make sense for like what they're trying to do there. Uh, but it's just like the storyline setup's really cool. So you're there, you hear Tiana speaking over the intercom because she's at the business. She's talking about how you and Lewis are gonna go look for some band members to help make her party a success as she wants to throw. And Naveen says he wants to come too, but she's like, no, you're gonna stay, because originally we saw Naveen included in the ride, right? And I think last week in our chat we had Drew, the Disney dude, and he was saying that like the original story of the ride did include Naveen, but they changed it again, and it was just Lewis and Tiana. So it was cool, just seeing all the outdoor stuff in the day versus the night. I definitely like the ride a lot more at night,
Me
but I
too.
was able to see a lot different things during the daytime. So um, all in all, though, I think the storyline really works. The only thing that like I said, the water part, like getting wet, was weird. But I think right away, the moment right here where you're about to
Dude,
go over the
you get
top.
wet right here too.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at this
This
splash. Boom, boom.
but this moment right here, when you go into the bayou and into the salt mine, um, it's such a magical moment where the fireflies light up like the scene, and it's just a super cool. Like you can't really catch it on camera, but it's like a really cool moment. And the music gets you like tapping your feet, you're singing along. And I think that's the whole like beauty of it, right? Because that's what made like Splash Mountain so great, was that like right away you go in, you do the drop, you got that like how do you do, and
Hi,
everyone knows that
you.
song.
Yeah.
And like so like the moment you go in, you're like going down the bayou, you got the animals playing, and like everyone's singing the song. At least on the rides I've been on, everyone knows it. The fireflies are singing, and I feel like it creates that level of like into the ride feeling that like everyone's kind of a part of it, and it's like it almost feels like it's always supposed to have been there,
Yeah.
and it works really well. Um, the ride seems to be working like really well. I mean, I know there's been a few downtimes. From what I've heard, the downtimes they've had have all been due to like power issues, Mondo. But the ride
Mm.
itself seems to be pretty like, it seems to be pretty
We're not
like a
having
workhorse.
the issues Florida had, like animatronic,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
timing of boats and triggers and all that
Yeah, and
stuff.
I will say one thing too. Never once did I go when I went on this ride did I feel like there was anything budget cut. Like
Yeah,
it didn't
I
feel.
don't feel that way either at
Yeah,
all.
it felt like very like a lot of money was spent on this ride. There's a lot to look at. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of projections. Like there's so much technology in this ride. They spent a lot of money on this ride for sure, 100%.
Mhm.
So
I know I didn't think about it that way. I will agree. I don't feel budget cut. Like I never thought like look at the cheap stuff they did here. I never thought that. I never not even well actually I'll take it back. I'll take it back. There is one part that I did feel was like what happened here. There used to be a waterfall on the right side, and they just got rid of it. They right here, Danny. There used to be a waterfall.
yeah, no longer.
Yeah, that waterfall's gone. I don't know what happened, but other than the waterfall, I just felt like
Can we
they
get
went all
a
out.
Mondo the Frog plush?
I know, dude. Them not having merch for this preview is super disaster. Because I feel like the hype is here, the excitement is all here, and you can't buy nothing. And I don't get what the point of the reveal is for November 15th. This ride already opened a long ass time ago in Florida. People already
Yeah,
have the merch, it's already on Disney Store. Just drop it in the parks. I'm going into Ray Beret. They ain't nothing Tiana. Like, literally. I don't know. I thought that was a weird decision, Danny.
yeah, and then it, besides the ride itself, though, I love the ride. Um, I honestly feel like it's a huge improvement, like as far as the technology and what's included. I mean, this is at its base a log ride, right? And so, like, I mean, you would think that you're riding like something as immersive and incredible as like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, but you're just in a log ride.
Yeah.
So there's it's quite a fun attraction. I want to keep riding it over and over again, even though you get so wet. It's like I just find myself really wanting to like ride it, um, and it's gonna suck when the line's like so long and it's hard to do. But there is a dedicated like whole single rider line, so and it's like signage and everything like built into the ride. So maybe that's a nice indicator that there'll be options to ride it regularly for people that want to just go on and they don't care where they sit. But hey, single rider could mean you get pushed in the front row. Just so you know.
Yeah, you're getting the front or second seat. I feel very
Mm-hmm.
rarely you'll get like a back seat as a single rider. You're going single rider. You just gotta get ready to get drenched. Uh, Tiana's Bayou Adventure has shown no mercy right here, Danny. No mercy, dude. Just splash. Look at that, dude. Just you're wet. You're freaking soaked. I'm in the very back getting drenched. Noah getting wrecked. Oh man. Look at the guy in the front just annihilated. Danny, I want to ask a crazy question. Do you feel like this was a mission breakout where people pretty much forget about Tower of Terror. Are people gonna essentially forget about Splash Mountain? Is that a crazy thing to say? Because how I feel, I don't even think about Splash Mountain other than getting wrecked by water. The ride
Yeah.
itself, I don't comprehend a Splash Mountain. Like nothing ever says like, oh, why'd they do that? I missed that one scene right here, or that one critter that was right here, or Burr Bear and Burr Rat. Like none of that ever occurs to me on the ride. I'm on Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Like I can't even think of Splash Mountain.
Yeah, it's like
Can
what I
you
was saying
relate?
earlier.
Yeah, can you
Yeah,
relate to that?
it's like what I just said in regards to like it feels like it was always supposed to be that way, right? It feels like that is the ride. I never once thought of Splash Mountain either, but I think the difference between this and Tower of Terror is that Splash Mountain is like 30 years old almost, right? Or more than 30. I don't even know how old it
It was
was.
just
I think
old. It was old. 20 plus.
uh, so like the hard part is that like everyone's still gonna call it Splash Mountain, like, and that's just gonna be a really hard thing to like break for a lot of people. Just by default, like they call it Splash Mountain, even though they know it's Tiana's Bayou Adventure, like they call it Splash. So I think that's the difference between this and Tower of Terror. It's like, yeah, people called it Tower of Terror, and some people still do call it Tower of Terror, even though it's Mission Breakout. Um, for the most part, I feel like most people just call it Guardians right now.
Yeah.
So I
I
feel like
never
we'll get
call it Mission Breakout. I call it Guardians. Same thing with like Buzz or Alice or Teacups or Thunder. Like nobody ever calls anything by its name. Or Spider
uh,
Man, Web Slinger Adventure. Who the hell calls it that?
mhm.
Nobody.
Yeah,
Nobody.
I feel like we had a connection with it with our generation because it was new, right? It was a new ride when we were kids, and we had that like our memories as going as children were this ride, and so like there's that level of connection to it, but for the most part, when you think about like what's actually happening on that ride, as far as like without anyone that knows anything about any sort of related movie, you
Yeah.
don't really like. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to you what's happening. You don't know who the characters are, other than they exist on Splash Mountain, and this to me like brings a whole storyline together. Like everyone knows the characters. People have an emotional connection with the movie. They know the music as well as they know like Little Mermaid or any other Disney movie with very iconic music, and it's just like something that you're gonna leave humming the music, right? I left humming the music, and it just feels like it always was supposed to be that way. And so I
Yeah.
feel like the with Splash, they're just like with newer generations. I just don't really feel like there was a connection to it. Any politics or anything aside about it, it just in general when you look at it as an attraction, it kind of just didn't really have that much of a storyline. Like Haunted Mansion's not really related to any movie either, but there's a connection there to what's going on in the story, and I
Yeah.
just feel like with Splash, like what's a laughing place, right? Like not everyone knew what that was. Why would
For the longest time when I did Splash, I don't know what the hell I was looking at.
Yeah, like people are like, "What's a laughing place?" I don't know what's that. Like,
Yeah.
what's a
Oh,
briar patch? Like all
yeah.
the like, no
What
one
are
really
these
knows.
two vultures just You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
scaring the hell out of me.
yeah.
Oh man.
I love it though. I think it's gonna be one of people's like most favorite rides at Disneyland, easily, easily.
Hmm. Um, One thing that a lot of people are missing, and we were lucky enough to get it, is when you actually go up, there's like a miss effect. I've only got it one out of the 3 or 4 times right there. Nobody, I haven't seen another video with it, but it's supposed to do that. Did you
It
get that
is.
today?
It does it twice. It does it when Mama Odie puts a spell on you to make you small, It does it on the up and down drop on the inside, and then on that first screen that you saw where the vultures are at the bottom of the hill,
Yeah.
Mama Odie talks about, she's like, we got to get you big now, because the bigger you are, the bigger splash you'll make at the party. And so she's casting her spell on you again to make you regular size, because you were technically still frog sized going through that part beforehand. That's why the bottles were big and all that. But she put a spell on you again, so then you're growing back to big size, and that's kind of the storyline of what's happening. So each time you see those, it's like magic being done on you.
Okay. I just want to let people know that exists. That's part of the ride. I feel like not everybody's getting that right now.
Yeah, it made it. I went on it today, and it was not working today.
Yeah, I have a feeling like they're not going to keep that energy going. I don't know. Mist effects, for some reason, at theme parks are like, they hate using them. There's supposed to be a mist effect in Super Nintendo World where that big, what is it called, thwomp comes down, and it's supposed to go like mist. They turn off the mist. They only turn the mist off mist on when Super Nintendo executives come to the park. They're like, hey, turn it on, turn all the effects. That's the only time they turn stuff on.
Turn all the effects on.
Yeah, we got my Alyssa dropping a super chat, $10. 10 on the Venmo. Split it with Danny. I rode Tiana's yesterday. Super cute. I wore a tee, leggings, socks, sandals, and a poncho because this girl didn't want to get her fancy clothes soaked. I feel like even a poncho, you still get wrecked. It's your feet, your bottom legs, even your sides. Because a lot of the Tiana Bayou Adventure water, it's not like it's like a tidal wave at you. It's more of like this side water happens. Do you feel that way too, Danny? Because I feel like
yes,
my pockets are always drenched. I can't help but my pockets are wet.
Yes, in all reality, if you had a poncho, the best way to use it would be to make sure that there's no way any water is coming in on the right side, because the right side is really only where you get wet, I feel.
I feel like you get wet on the left side. You get wet every single side. Is there any negatives to Tiana's Bayou Adventure? We're talking all these positives. Is there any cons? Any negatives? The virtual queue.
No, I don't even feel like the virtual queue. Like we've had that for so many rides. It's like not a big deal.
It's like same ass every day.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of was, but this was the same thing that plagued Splash Mountain, is our Splash Mountain, or our Tiana's Bayou Adventure, moves very, very fast. So you got to take in a lot. A lot's happening, and you're not staying by the stuff very long. You're moving very quickly through the ride. So there's not a lot of time to sit and listen to what they're saying or look at things. So you kind of have to go on it multiple times, and that's when you pick up new things that are happening. It's moving very fast in the underground part where the frogs are. You're moving really fast past all the stuff after the first drop. The only time it kind of really moves slow is when you're moving past the final scene.
Yeah, that's the only time.
Yeah, so I feel like that's the only negative thing I could say, but that's not relative to Tiana's, because Splash Mountain had that issue as well too. Other than that, I think it's fine. The only thing is the queue. Like, I thought that they were going to add more queue than they did, and I saw that extended queue you were talking about today too, Mondo, where it's like on the Winnie the Pooh side of it all.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know how that's going to work out when there's all that stuff going on over there.
They're like, let's make this tighter area more tighter. That's how it feels.
Yeah, because they kind of teased that way back when they announced that Critter Country was closing and they were going to change the name and everything. Remember, you and I did a show, and we kind of dug a little deeper, no pun there, but about like how some of the words that Disney used, and it almost made it sound like they were going to get rid of the meet and greets, and that made sense, right? Because they could have put a lot of queue over there. but they ended up not touching them, and the meet and greets are still there. In fact, they have like, I feel like they have more rope queue than they ever had. Um, and maybe that was like a last minute change because like Winnie the Pooh has such a resurgence right now with younger kids, um, like huge resurgence. And so maybe that's like a strategic move because they were like thinking about maybe getting rid of it, and now it's like Winnie the Pooh is such a huge draw, and moneymaker for them.
Hmm.
So they kept it. I almost wonder, Mondo, if the whole shop was supposed to be Lewis's Critter Club, and they kept Pooh Corner only because of how popular Winnie the Pooh is.
I'll tell you right now, Lewis's Critter Club will never make as much money as Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh is just such an established brand for like, I feel like 50 years. I don't know. Winnie the Pooh's pretty damn old. But it has had a resurgence. I'll say with like the younger crowd, honestly. I don't even know why. I don't know what the hell made Winnie the Pooh popular again. But the merch, we've seen a resurgence like you wouldn't believe. World of Disney has like a Winnie the Pooh corner, and Claw the Tears is like all Winnie the Pooh. It's crazy. And now Pooh Corner because it's back. But yeah, we'll get back to Winnie the Pooh in a little bit. We got a big super chat dropping 20. Hi Mondo, Danny. OMG. I was able to ride Tiana ride today. I was group 13, but before I was called to ride Tiana's. It seems the smaller drops do the most water drenching than the actual big drop. The Mama Odie part, which we used to call the big butt, that's where you just get annihilated. It's just a tsunami of like a blanket of water. My goal, if I can, I want to go this week to film a video specifically on the first row. And I wanted to name it like they were trying to drown me at Disneyland, something like that, just some ridiculous title. Because everything I've heard about first row at Tiana's, people are just getting annihilated, just wrecked. I haven't felt it yet, mainly because I've been wanting to film a good video, and when you're in the front row, you're not going to film a good video. You're just getting drenched and your camera's wrecked.
Yeah,
man, thank you, DA. I'm trying to think of a negative like that I could think of with Tiana's. I really can't. I would say I would have liked to have seen Naveen more. Honestly, I would have liked to see more Frog. Somewhere. But it is what it is. For everything that we saw in Florida, I do feel like they improved a lot of things when it came to California. And we've mentioned it already before. Now that you get on the ride, you truly feel like, oh, this was made for Disneyland, not Walt Disney World. I could just attest to that to the 1,000%. It really does feel like it was only meant for Disneyland. And somehow it ended up over there. All right, let's move on from Tiana's Bayou Adventure. And let's talk Hungry Bear! Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree! Danny had a chance to go. I had a chance to go. We are pretty well versed in the conversation of Hungry Bear. I want you to go first, Danny. We got some great photos from your end on Twitter.
Yeah. So I noticed Mondo had a chance to go like the first day, and he got there before I did and had some stuff. And then him and Mystery Bay went yesterday with our friend Nene, and they all enjoyed some things, but they had a little bit of problem with like portion control when Mondo went with Nene and stuff. But that certainly wasn't the case today. You can see from my photos, I got a ton of fries. So much fries, in fact.
My burger better look like that every time. Look at this dish. That's what
And here's the thing. This is why, this is the one thing that scares me, because at least for Disneyland, it works this way. It doesn't necessarily work this way at Walt Disney World, but it's definitely the case for Disneyland. And anyone in this chat who's a fan that goes to Disneyland regularly, this happens as well too. It happened at Docking Bay 7. It happened basically anywhere. Like Disney always comes out with these really cool new themed like dishes and dinnerware, special sauces and presentation, and it lasts for like a few months, maybe not even a few months, and then we just default back to Disneyland's like paper boats and paper plates and just like the basic dinnerware, and it kind of removes the theme from everything. Um, so that's my only worry, is that those metal trays aren't going to last very long, and I feel like the metal trays really help give them a little, give them more food for us, kind of thing. Because I'm picturing, like, you know what I'm picturing, Mondo? I'm picturing this place in less than a couple months turning into Galactic Grill,
Yeah.
where everyone gets the same little tiny, very very tiny boat of fries that like maybe has like 6 fries in it.
It's like half the
And
price of what this has.
yeah, and then they just like put it on your tray, and that like everyone gets the same portion of fries, and like this just, to me, like that picture that you're showing right now, that with Magic Key discount is $15.69. I'd pay $15 for that. I don't know about you.
Easily. No,
Easily.
and especially, uh, I go to Knott's, I go to Six Flags, even Universal. Things are like $20, everything. And for the quality of food that we got, the portions, the fact that it's barbecue is never cheap. First of all,
Yeah,
15
beef is not
bucks,
cheap. But beef
15
and pork is
bucks,
not cheap.
$15, absolute home run, absolute
Yeah.
home run, man.
So I honestly,
I
I
want to say this too, Danny. This looks whack AF, dude. Like just
no,
present. I know
no,
you
it
know
was
different.
so good.
You plead your case, Danny. Why was it
Okay,
this?
so I
This is
wanna.
like $15 too. I think.
No, it's actually cheaper. So I want to like eat my words a little bit on this one, and I told my friends that I would do this as well too. But when we first showcased the foodie guy that came out for Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree, um, I was making fun of this, and so was Mondo, to be fair. But I was just like, you're paying the same entree prices for um, just corn, and you're not getting meat. The other things are getting meat, but in all honesty, this was so well prepared. The way they seasoned it with like the cheese, they have this like this like crema sauce they put on it, and like crispy garlic, or I don't even know what's on it. But you get like 4 really big corn ribs, sometimes 5, depending on like how big they are, and they gave me a huge serving of fries and then a side of the vinegar slime, or like vegetarian option. And it's actually really good, and it's like I think just under $14, or like a little bit cheaper than the meat options. But what we were doing was we were getting the sandwiches, splitting them, and then also getting this corn ribs, and then that way we could all have like corn and the meat sandwiches and all that stuff, and it just felt really good that way. Honestly, in my opinion, the only thing that really missed for me on this menu was the loaded fries. I have a picture of the loaded fries. The portion's not very big. It's the same price as all the entrees. In my opinion, I would rather um, I would rather put the corn ribs as like my shareable option, and not do the loaded fries, because the loaded fries was like not a very big boat, and it's like $14, $15. Yeah, that's like $15 right there, and that's like compared to like the burger that we just saw and everything else, wasn't really like, it's not
It
really a
doesn't
big
add up,
difference.
right? It doesn't add up. That
Yeah.
that should be
So for
like
me,
$11, $10.
Yeah, so for me, if you want to have something shareable, maybe everyone gets the sandwiches and then you share the corn rib platter. I feel like that's more of like a fun thing to share that you can't normally have. But I had to definitely like eat my words on that one, because the corn ribs were like way better than I thought, and I'm like a huge fan of them now, and I'll definitely be getting them.
Damn.
So I was expecting to like go in and hate those, and ended up really loving them. So shout out to the culinary teams that came up with that and however they're preparing it. It was creative and really good. So
Is my mic still going in and out? I don't know why it's doing that.
no, it does. I don't really feel like it's going in and out. A lot of people were saying in the chat when they left YouTube, came back, and it's fine. So
Oh,
maybe everyone
okay.
needs to do that.
I
Yeah.
just got on the laptop. It's because recently Max like pulled the heck out of my wire that connects to this mic. I probably need a new wire, honestly. Just living with the baby. Um, did you have a chance to try like the full platter thing?
That's the only thing I haven't tried was that big giant barbecue platter.
Let me. I have a picture, and big shout out to Nene right here. I had a chance to try every single one of these things you see on the camera. Um, I wanna throw this out there. On my original video of Hungry Bear, my banana pudding was terrible. It was terrible. I had a chance to try it again yesterday, and it was a big improvement. Like it went from like a one fire to three fire. No way am I gonna say it's like, oh, this is amazing banana pudding and blah blah blah, because it's really not. It's really like you could skip on the banana pudding, honestly. It's good, but it's not like, oh my, like, because when I eat good banana pudding, you're just like you're in heaven. I am not in
Hmm.
heaven eating that thing. Uh,
My option, Mondo, I think is the funnel cake fries. We had those today as well, and I put a picture of those on Twitter. Um, they come. You can get them paired up with a banana caramel dipping sauce, and I feel like that's a better dessert than the banana pudding.
I had a chance to try these too, Danny. The sauce was good. These funnel cake fries were good. They were soft. Were they soft for you?
Soft, very well coated. They weren't too greasy. I mean, you can even see the bag there. It's not really like greasy. You know what I mean? Like in all reality, I had a funnel cake at Knott's Scary Farm, and it was terrible. It was gross, and it was like so greasy and just not good. And like these funnel cake fries, like this is what I want funnel cake to taste like, and they were like fresh and really good. So I feel like that's a fun dessert option, and I'd love to see over the next year, and maybe who knows, even with the holidays coming up, um, them doing a like a holiday version, whether it's Halloween or Christmas, for these funnel cake fries or whatever kind of dessert they're gonna have. I'm just really like excited to see what the culinary team does for like the special holiday items at this location.
The strawberry with cream cheese or something on the top, whatever the hell it is. I thought it was terrible. I did not like it. I do not recommend it. Same
The
goes
one I had,
with the strawberry lemonade with pickle juice.
nope.
Terrible. It's literally terrible. Unless you like pickle juice, that is like pickle juice to the max. But I do not recommend. I do recommend though the drink that Danny shows. This one. I guess it's
Yeah,
just a sweet tea lemonade. It was delicious. It hit the
this
spot.
this is so good. It's giving but the Tatooine Sunset a run for its money. Tatooine Sunset's still better by far, but this is a close second. And the reason why I like this is because it's not too sweet. It actually you expect it to be, but it actually you can taste the tea, which is
Yeah.
nice. So I like this. I'd get that again for sure.
Somebody just put in here. Gotta leave banana pudding alone. Stop trying to make it fancy by adding dulce de leche and toffee bits. The first day I had the toffee bits were like hard as a rock. I scraped them all off. I was like, what the hell? I don't want none of that on my banana pudding. I want my banana pudding to be soft and with the wafers, you know? But yeah, dulce de leche does not belong on banana pudding at all. I agree. um, does Hungry Bear almost instantly become one of the top or not, or one of the top or top three contenders for best quick service at Disneyland? How do you feel about that?
Yes, 100%. It's now in my rotation for sure. I will be going here regularly and taking people here regularly who are coming to Disneyland for food. I think it's unmatched because of not only the variety that they have of things to share and things to eat, at least in its current form right now, but a lot of things that people aren't talking about. The kids menu. Kids are picky eaters. They don't like a lot of things. They like grilled cheese. They like chicken nuggets. They like chicken tenders. They like plain cheeseburgers or plain hamburgers with nothing on them. And they literally have that here at Hungry Bear, like really good looking versions of all those things. So I feel like, like kids love grilled cheese. Like, the kids will always ask for grilled cheese. So I
Man,
feel
they
like all
got
these options.
ribs for kids. What a deal! Damn.
Dude, I think the kids meals will be like the reason why people go here so much is because parents know that if they bring their kid here, they'll eat. Whereas like they might go to like Docking Bay 7 and the kids won't want to eat there because it's
Hey,
like
same thing goes for like Golden Horseshoe, Zocalo. Uh, honestly, even like Plaza Inn for like I I try to have Max eat the pasta, but he just didn't want it. He's like, I don't want that. I was like, oh
yeah.
gosh. Even like Galactic Grill, like I don't really know where to take a kid at Disneyland. But this is everything a kid wants: grilled cheese,
Mhm.
chicken tender, a burger. If your kid's like a little more
Applesauce.
exploring, the ribs, get the ribs. That's true. And at the same time, the parent is gonna eat good. You know what I mean? The kid eats good, I gotta eat good.
Yeah, this is in my rotation. Bengal barbecue, Hungry Bear barbecue jamboree. Uh, oh, I forgot to say, Mondo, in my video, and I'll tell this to you as well too. So we gotta forgive this weekend, right? Because this weekend is opening weekend. The cast members were new to the amount of people that are coming to this restaurant, right? It's all new. They're getting used to it. The kitchen staff was getting used to it. We went on Friday night, which was literally the first night. Um, Terrible experience, but I didn't care because it was opening night and it was the first time they were serving anyone in this volume, right? But we literally waited almost 40 minutes at the counter to get our food. And I'm not saying anything in regards to that. I'm saying how much it improved over 2 days. I went today. Um, all the food was better, and I literally waited at the bottom of the ramp and around the corner. So the line started at the bathrooms downstairs, and we waited like maybe 45 minutes in total from there all the way to where we had food in hand. So not very long. It was moving very fast. They were getting people food very quickly. Everything was hot. Everything was fresh. The other thing I want to say, and I mentioned this in the video, that's what I was trying to say, is mobile order. I don't necessarily know that's the route. And the reason for that, it goes back to what we said, Mondo, about Tangaroa Terrace, for example, or Craftsman's Grill. What's the worst thing there about mobile ordering?
You
They
get a
shove they
smaller
shove
box.
everything into a tiny little box, and a lot of times it's sitting there for a while and until they actually put in your number to call you. And so the bun and all the other things have steamed inside the little box and made everything soggy, right? um, i I'm sitting at a table with our huge spread of food that we had for today, that we were sharing all this stuff. It looked amazing. Plated on these cool metal trays, fries for days, like so much stuff. And then the person next to me walks up with two plain white bags with a bunch of white or cardboard boxes in them. And they're like all eating out of their little boxes. And I was just like, and I looked at my friend and I said, if that was my first experience at this restaurant, I probably would never want to come back here. And so that made me really like put into perspective, like this is again one of those locations where like mobile order is just not good. It's just not good. It's not the better option. And so
You could do
uh,
mobile order to eat there though. To eat there.
I feel like it's more for me. I'd rather just wait. I'd rather just wait and order it.
And some of the menu items are not on mobile order, like the banana pudding.
Yeah.
I think the corn ribs. I don't think you could order that on mobile order for some reason. I hate when they do that. Um, Hungry Bear, I can't recommend it enough. It's really outstanding what Disney has done. When you take a step back and like look at the last like 3 to 5 years of this like direction that Disney has gone in regards to cuisine from a theme park perspective, it's insane. No other theme park is attacking cuisine like Disney is. It's almost like it's their number one focus more than everything else. We've got Din Tai Fung. We got Pim Test Kitchen. We recently got Centrico and whatever the other place is called. We got Jazz Kitchen that kind of reimagined itself. We're soon going to get, what is it called? Park Place? Where it has like 4 different restaurants right next to Din Tai Fung.
Parkside Market.
Parkside Market. We got the bowling alley place. That's a whole cuisine in there. We also got Black Tap. We also got Ballast Point. It's insane. We got Tiana's Palace. We got Hungry Bear Barbecue. Daisy's like reimagined itself a little bit. The food, Disney is like, we need to have the best food from all the theme parks, and no one could argue it. And it really does feel that way. Am I missing a big one that I can't think of right now?
No, we got. I mean, we have Tiana's Palace restaurant.
Oh,
That's
Pixar Place Hotel with that new food too.
yeah, and and the there's new foods there as well. But yeah, there's just so much coming in regards to food, and
We have a steakhouse coming soon, or
yeah,
steak.
and that's going to have its own barbecue smokehouse takeout as well. So we got another barbecue joint joining the ranks over here. Um, I had a chance, by the way, Mondo, this past weekend to go to Paseo for the first time. I had never been. I went to Paseo. It was good. It was really good. The vibes were great upstairs.
Paseo's
for
the
sure.
upstairs or the
Yeah.
circle.
The Paseo's the one upstairs, the fancy restaurant.
I haven't even walked in there, dude. I don't even know what it looks like.
It's beautiful up there. There's like really great vibe. I wouldn't say like the food's like incredible. It's pretty much on par with like what you have at Centrico, just a little bit more fancier. You know what I mean? But it's good. It's good. It's certainly like I would eat. I would choose to eat there over whatever Catal was. Right? Like I wouldn't. I wouldn't like have never chose to go to Catal. But like I would go back to Paseo. So
Yeah. I want to bring this slide up. Shout out to the Big Black Guy channel. He sent me this, and I want to have a conversation about it. But real quick, theme park and things with Johnny, 38 months. Black Tap has been 5 fires for me lately, but City Walk is okay. I love it. I love City Walk. Ever since they added NBC Sports Grill and Brew, no complaints. No complaints. That's my favorite. That's like my go-to now. If I ever want to eat at City Walk, I'll go there. But I'm glad. I haven't been a Black Tap in a long time. Ever since like all the hype for their stupid, ridiculous like shakes, over the top shakes, all that hype disappeared. I've never been back. I thought their burgers were good. I don't know. I don't ever like crave it. The only thing I ever really crave from City Walk, Din Tai Fung is the first one. Naples or Napolini, whatever the quick service version is. I love that pizza. But thank you for 38 months, Johnny. Here it is, the 10 highest grossing media franchises. Mickey Mouse coming in at $60 billion. Wow. Winnie the Pooh is there because it's just grossed ridiculous amount of money. Winnie the Pooh obviously exists at Disneyland, but it's like a shame of what it should be. It should have its own proper ride instead of being shoveled into this existing building of Country Bear Jamboree. We have seen a resurgence of Country Bear Jamboree like nods from the Big Al that arrived at DVC corner over there at DCA going in California or Grand Californian area. And then Country Bear Jamboree is all it's literally nods to country bears. That's all it is. That's all it is. And let me go to some of these things. Shout out to I Heart Disneyland. She's on to tag me. Look, we got that. We got that. Giving us the names for some reason. That one is really called Dude. Wow, I never heard that. I'm not well versed in the lore of Country Bear Jamboree, but this is an insane amount of Country Bear like nods. We even got this. Look, they put that. Danny, did you ever catch that?
I did. I caught that today. Trixie's
what?
Swing. Yep.
Is there any way, Danny, like in your heart, is there any way that Winnie the Pooh gets just torn out to bring back Country Bear Jamboree, and then it would allow Winnie the Pooh to come somewhere else, either in Fantasyland or somehow reimagined in a Disneyland Forward? Does Disneyland care like that? Are those moves that could exist? You know, this is Speculation Sunday. We're talking crazy talk here, but does Disneyland care that much about Country Bears Jamboree at Disneyland?
I'm sure they'd like to add it in some way if there's a demand for it. But I don't feel like Winnie the Pooh's gonna be the cost of that. No.
I'm on the fence, and I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing about like future details or whatever. But I feel like Winnie the Pooh could get kicked out, and I feel like they would probably keep Pooh Corner because Pooh Corner is just too damn iconic now. But to bring back Country Bears in that corner, it just makes total sense. Because now we got the Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree. What better way to like a 1-2 punch than to add the attraction right next door? And then I had conversations about like, well, that building is literally the same damn building that was for Country Bears back in the day. They just shoved the Winnie the Pooh in there. So why can't they just shove Country Bears back in there? I asked that question to the live stream like a couple days ago, Danny. Everybody hates the thought of Country Bears coming back. I don't know. For some reason, I feel like Country Bear Jamboree, it like doesn't sit well with people in 2024 and beyond. What do you think about that?
There's a huge demand for it in Walt Disney World. I don't know that necessarily the demand is here as well too, but I feel like there's a strong minority that love Country Bear, right? And they love the idea of it coming back or something coming back with that franchise. I just feel like Winnie the Pooh's too strong, and they would never take anything away like that to put in the Country Bears, which don't really maybe resonate with a lot of people. Disney World tried to make theirs a little bit different so it would resonate with more people because they changed the whole ride and the songs that they sing and everything.
Yeah.
But I feel like the
Because in all reality, Country Bears ain't making no money compared to a Winnie the Pooh, right? Like,
I feel like the Hungry Bear restaurant being themed to Country Bears was just a really nice nod for like fans that remember that part of the park as being the Country Bear Jamboree.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy to see this list. Does any of these surprise you? Like in regards to the moneymaker power?
No, not really. I would imagine. I would have pictured. Honestly, I would have pictured Spider-Man, like being more than Star Wars. But that's the only one.
Yeah, I'm still kind of shocked that like Lion King's even top 10. It's hasn't been anything in so long. Toy Story, I get it. I kind of find it crazy that like Spider Man just it's in its own world. That's so
Yeah.
crazy. Jesus, they don't even consider it Marvel. They're just like that's Spider Man. Uh, but yeah, Disney owns some very powerful franchises. It's insane. And they don't want to do a Mickey Mouse movie, which is I still find it ridiculous. I want a Mickey Mouse movie in the theaters, man. We deserve it. We deserve it. Um, Bayou Country as a whole, with raised berets and everything they've added, how do you feel about the layout now?
Uh, the dude, I love raised berets. Raised berets was I don't even know why Imagineering went so hard in that store. There's so much stuff to look at in raised berets. There's so much storytelling inside raised berets. I couldn't believe it. Um, I spent like a good like 15, 20 minutes in there today just looking at all the every single jar inside the shop. Every jar is a different home or like location in town for the different fireflies, and some of them light up and all that. There's just so many cool details in there, and the screen is really cool with like the depth effect that they've got on that. um, it was a lot of fun. I love the little nod to Cafe Du Monde in New Orleans, where everyone goes to get their beignets. They had a jar that was a shop called Cafe Du Pond,
Hmm.
uh, which was kind of funny. But yeah, it was that was really fun. Raised berets. I mean, I had no desire or need to ever go into Briar Patch. Right? Like
Nothing.
there was no real theme in there. Um, and now there's like a true theme. That jar right there, that's Ray's house actually, and he's got a little picture of Evangeline in it. I mean, how cute is that, right? That's
Yeah,
like literally like the details that they thought of in this little store
they went
is
hard.
like they went hard. I can't wait till they put Tiana merch in here because it'll be even better. The only thing I'll say about this is it's kind of a weird space, because like where they've included this new ride line now, where you like so like literally the ride entrance to Tiana's Bayou Adventure is like directly in front of the door of this
Yeah.
shop, like literally directly in front of it. So it kind of makes it like weird to get into the shop because it kind of you're like inside the line almost of the ride the way they've done it. Um, so that's the only thing I'd say that's weird. But the land itself, it just everything works really well. Like they've got new trees in there. Um, they've got the like I feel like the new color scheme on Tiana's really like kind of matches everything well. It all seems nice. And then they have the barbecue joint. It's a great part of the park now. The only bummer is it just takes so long to get back there.
Yeah. Man, I'm excited for this ride to get opened up to the public. You got to wait till November 15th, and it'll definitely be on virtual queue at that point in time. Uh, they're doing things really weird right now where in the weekends it's like virtual queue from 9 to 5, and then on the weekdays it's 5 to 9. Weird hours right now, but hopefully lots of people get to ride it come November 15th, and it's a lot of fun. Somehow in Christmas, hopefully it's not too cold. All right, I want to move out of all this Tiana talk. Um, did you buy or sign up or anything for Epic Universe, Danny? Because that was a big topic of conversation over the week.
Not yet. I would love to be there on opening day, but um, I kind of just feel like I don't necessarily want to do the way that we're kind of forced to be buying tickets for that.
I know. I'm
I don't
like
have.
out of it, Danny. I don't want to. I'm almost like I'd rather go in November and probably not have to deal with any of that 3 day for a one and you know.
Yeah, like I want to be able to go to Epic Universe like 3 days in a row. I
Yeah,
don't want to go. I don't want to just go one day and then have to go to like Islands of Adventure and Universal. Like I love those parks too, but if I'm going to make a trip out there and spend a lot of money to stay in a hotel, to fly. Flying out there now is like $500-$600. Um, like you're gonna spend all that money to go out there. Like I don't want to be limited to like where I can only go one day
Yeah.
to the park that I'm flying out there to see. So it's like I kind of just want to wait until I can buy multiple days at Epic Universe, or buy a multi-day ticket that I can use anywhere, whether it's Islands of Adventure, Volcano Bay, Universal Studios, or Epic Universe. Like I want to be able to pick. Um, so I've never been like someone that has to like put something up like right away, first thing. Like I need to experience it. I would love to be there on opening day, and I know a lot of people, a lot of my friends will be there on opening day for sure. But I just won't be one of those people. So
Yeah,
I
I've
will
kind
go.
of
I will
I've come with
go.
the agreement too, Danny, of like I don't think I want to be there opening day. It's May and you're in Florida. It's May. Big ass crowds too, probably in May. Or I go in November, nice weather, probably still big crowds, but nice weather. And I could probably go 3 times in a row. Yeah, I don't know, Danny. The whole 3 day for one park at Epic, I don't know. I'm not feeling that idea, dude. And then their big spiel too is like, but you could buy an annual pass and then you could get opening day. So buy your annual pass. I don't know. It's like, yeah, I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. Epic Universe does look wonderful, though. I can't wait to experience it at some point in time. But for opening day and all that kind of hype, I don't know. I've taken a step back on it. Like, I don't feel like I'm missing out, if that makes sense, on opening day. And first of all, Universal Orlando don't let you record on rides. So to me, that takes, from like a YouTube perspective, it takes a lot of fun out of it. I can't even record in their houses. So I have another thing I want to talk about real quick, Danny. Somebody just sent me, I think it was Angie. Thank you, Angie, for sending us this picture. We have an update. It's going to be a new experience coming to Disneyland, Fantasyland Theater Christmas overlay.
Yeah. It's funny that you said that because I was literally about to bring that up as the next topic. I filmed that today.
Man,
So they're really utilizing this space now as like a party central. So if you think about the way this space was used during Pixar Fest, that's exactly how it's going to be used for Christmas. But think of it as like the Christmas festival center for Disneyland, and there's going to be cookie decorating here, kids craft, kids storytelling, probably with like princesses. Santa will be here, I think. They'll probably do like snow machines in there. If I'm like, I can almost guarantee that. Uh, so it's going to be like and the thing I was saying too, Mondo, is that I was kind of excited. Troubadour Tavern, when Pixar Fest went away, Troubadour Tavern had like some of the best menu items at Pixar Fest, including the barbecue burnt ends Coca-Cola barbecue sauce potato. And all that stuff is still available to this day. Right now, I saw it literally today.
it survived.
It survived, but you know what? When this opens up as a Christmas center, you better believe that whole menu is gonna change and it's gonna be Christmas focused. So I was just thinking that today. I said that in my video. I was like, if you really want to go to Troubadour and get that barbecue potato,
Get it
make sure
now.
you do it. Make sure you do it now, because when the holidays get closer, it's probably going to be a holiday food location.
I have a feeling this is going to be a huge success. Christmas is already a moneymaker. And if I'm not mistaken, Santa's supposed to be here. So you're going to get kind of like maybe a dance party of Christmas with characters and Santa and photo ops. And then when you add it with the Troubadour, getting a seasonal food, home run. This is a home run. I do like that it's kind of like this revolving window of seasons. I do miss Mickey's Magical Map. I'm just gonna throw it out there, man. The good old days. But stay tuned. November 15th.
Yeah,
We're gonna see.
I think it's cool though. When you think about that, Mondo, like that being a huge like draw. Like if you think about the Pixar Fest area being there was a lot of stuff to do there for kids, and kids really liked that. that space. So thinking about it being like a place you can go decorate cookies, you can take photos with characters, where you can see like little stage performances, hear Christmas storytelling, like just all this stuff going on, and then probably get some really great Christmas food at the Troubadour Tavern. You can spend a lot of time in that space. But think about like everything that's coming. You have that there. Then in Mickey's Toontown, you have a full overlay of everything holidays. You've got all the holiday nighttime entertainment, World of Color, Believe in Holiday Magic. You've got food coming from all over the park. Tiana's Bayou Adventures opening that weekend to the public. We have Festival of Holidays over at DCA. Like, it's really like Christmas is like up here when it comes to like offerings, and now like Halloween I feel is like down here. When they used to be a lot more like
Yeah,
equitable, like Christmas is just pulling ahead with like
it's
all
the
the stuff
number
that they
one.
have.
The number
Yeah,
one.
because I feel like I don't know, like I feel like the last 2 years, Halloween just didn't feel the same at Disneyland. I don't know what it was.
It's non-existent. There's no Halloween at Disneyland. It's the cavalcade. That's it. That's it. The Fab Five have outfits. That is it. I get, and then they do projections. You don't even get fireworks half the time. Big Black Eye Channel. When do you speculate Pirate will lose Lightning Lane, if ever? I don't think it ever goes away. And I'll tell you because of the premiere, the $400 one. It's never going
Yeah.
away. I don't think we've had that conversation yet, Danny. Did we talk about that last week? The $400 Lightning Lane, or no?
We did a little
Okay,
bit. We
okay,
talked about how we thought it was necessary for like it was a necessary evil for people that wanted something in between the Lightning Lane experience and the premium, like a VIP tour guide. Um, and we talked about how it's like it's almost trying to be like a Universal Express or like a Knott's Fast Lane, but just doesn't offer the same premium experience that those do as far as the access you get. Just because the Lightning Lane, the Lightning Lanes for the most part on some of the more legacy attractions at Disneyland, they were designed as Fast Pass lines, which are not meant to give you to the front of the line. Fast Pass was meant to cut your wait time in half.
Yeah.
So you still had a pretty sizable wait depending on how long the ride was. You just didn't have as long as a wait. So those queues, Indiana Jones being the worst offender, some other attractions like I'm trying to think, Space Mountain, for instance. You're still merging pretty far back with the rest of the line. You're not going all the way to the front like you are on, say, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway or like Rise of the Resistance. So I feel like those attractions make the price a little bit worth it, but they're trying to like put a premium price on an offering that was created in the '90s for a different product altogether.
Mm-hmm. Any other topics that you wanted to get into, Danny? Because I really wanted to focus on Tiana's Bayou Country.
Yeah, I mean, I just was covering a lot. There's a lot going on. A lot of things happened this weekend. The barbecue opened. Tiana's Bayou Adventure was going through previews with cast member and Magic Key at the same time. We had Ray's Berets open, and the Disneyland Railroad started. They'd closed for 2 months. Unfortunately, the New Orleans train station still closed, but the train itself is in operation. The only thing I thought was kind of a bummer, Mondo, is they still haven't opened the windows into Tiana's yet.
I
When you're on
know.
the train.
I heard that too.
So they're like busting in the music on the train. So like you hear the whole Special Spice like song take over, like, and you talk about it, and it's playing on the train, but you can't see in because they got the doors rolled down. So it's kind of a shame. They're probably doing it because the ride's technically not open, right? So they don't want you to like look into it just yet, because that's like the grand finale. They want you to see it for the first time when you're on the ride. So I guess I understand that, but I was kind of hoping we could see it.
They should just open it up already, man. New Orleans Station. I don't know when it's gonna open. That whole Haunted Mansion queue, I feel like that thing, from a timeline perspective, it's way overdue what they expected. Who knows? Who knows? I don't think anytime soon. This is so random, but going back to Hungry Bear, can you get the sausage as a side? I heard it's really good and I want to try it with the garlic cheese pretzel bun. I'm sure you can.
You
I'm sure you
can.
can,
You
yeah.
can. Yeah.
I don't know what the cost is, but I'm sure you can for sure. And it might
Yeah.
have been on mobile order if I'm not mistaken too. So, um, but I'm gonna end the conversation here with all the Disneyland. I want to open up to Q&A. Q&A. What do you guys want to talk about? Post your questions or topics that you would love to conversate with us and the community here on Five Fires. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight on this beautiful Sunday night. It's been a wonderful week. Wonderful week. I want to show this real quick because somebody just tagged me. And for all the HHN fans, my sister was talking about this not too long ago. I feel like I should post that video on my TikTok. I feel like that'd be the good place. So the Weeknd posted this, a baby picture, and it says the HHN lore is slowly coming to light. Baby Weeknd, not real, just a character for his new album being born soon. And you know we got baby weekends all over the weekend maze. I don't know what the hell to say about all this. But yeah, the weekend maze, there's more to it than what you're watching when you walk through that thing. But I just wanted to show that real quick. All right, let me see. Where is Tiana's show for Disney Plus? That was supposed to connect to the ride. You know where it is? Nowhere. I don't know where the hell that show. Ask Bob Iger. That's the perfect person to ask. Where's the show, Bob? Nowhere. The answer is nowhere. Have you guys ever heard that Disney might be closing the Spider-Man show in DCA? We've talked about that like 2 months ago. I don't think they're closing it. I think they're going to limit it. So, like, you'll get it on Friday, Saturday, Sundays. I think that's what's going to happen more than it's closed forever. I don't think it's gone forever. They're sending an animatronic through, or stuntronic, whatever the hell they call it. Let me see. Jazzy says, please give your suggestions for us trying to go to trying to get on Tiana Magic Key previews. Your best friend is the world clock. If you can have the world clock open on another phone or your laptop, you need the world clock, because if you swipe down to like refresh, it has to be at like 58 or 59. So 6, 59, and 59 seconds.
I think
Then just smash, like literally casino smash the join virtual at the very bottom. Don't read nothing. You don't have to read none of that. You just smash it. That's your best bet.
yeah, and also the big thing that gets a lot of people knocked out is you got to make sure that the only passes scanned into the app that whoever's the person that's going to be trying the virtual queue, the only passes that can be scanned in their app is the people that are going to ride the ride in that moment. Everyone else in your app needs to be deleted. And I know it can be kind of a pain in the butt if you have like your friends' passes because you like to make reservations for them or something like that. It doesn't matter. You have to delete everyone that's not riding the ride in that moment. Because if you have anyone in your app who doesn't have a reservation that day and you're trying to do the 7 a.m. one, it's going to add an extra step to the process and say, like, these people aren't eligible or whatever. And it like can mess it up. So just make sure. I think that's my biggest recommendation, because a lot of people have that extra step and then they miss it. So
And the world clock. Do what Danny's saying, and the world clock. It's like I don't know. If you literally wait for it to say 7 o'clock, like, you already lost. You're already lost. I'm still waiting on the Duffy and Friends show to come to Disney Plus. Probably never coming, my Alyssa. Any clues about the 70th celebration? The big one that we heard, and it seems like it's gaining steam, is that Pixar Fest parade is going to come back again to California Adventure during the day. But I don't think it'll be its exact form. Maybe they add some stuff to just spur it up, and I don't think they're coming back to Pixar Fest. It seems like Pixar Fest is honestly a disaster, but that's what I've heard. For the 70th, I could only assume Paint the Night's going back to Disneyland and new fireworks. Other than that, the wall animatronic, I guess. I don't know. Hopefully, a really good foodie guide. A foodie guide would be insane. How do you think Thanksgiving week will be looking like? Park crowds, park crowdness, and decorations. Do you feel like Thanksgiving week's busy, Danny, at Disneyland? Now that we have virtual or reservation, things have changed so much. Like it's hard to say, honestly.
I don't know. Things have changed. It sometimes it feels really crowded, and then some days it doesn't feel really crowded. In all honesty, I want to say unless people are paying to go, it's probably not going to be all that crowded because there's a lot of passes blocked. Even for the most part, that weekend of like Black Friday into that Thanksgiving weekend right there. Even the Believe is blocked both Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
So like the only people that can go are Inspire, and it's going to be Inspire and people that buy tickets. So it's going to be either really packed because tons of people buy tickets, or it'll be dead.
Yeah, I feel
and that's
like
the opening weekend or that's like not opening weekend, but that's like the second weekend after the ride opens. So it should, in all accounts, be pretty busy. But
yeah, I think it's going to be packed. It's Christmas holiday. People want to get their Christmas in. It's going to be packed. And people are buying tickets, man, left and right. People are buying tickets. We got Evan, just got back from Disneyland, went on Tiana's, it went perfect. Got backup group 33, and got on my 3 p.m. It was amazing. Wow, the groups went to 33. That's good to hear. That's the highest I've heard. Have you all noticed how many times the hanging has been canceled? I hear many of the casts have quit out of frustration. So every time I think of going to Knott's, people keep telling me the mazes are empty, there's no actors, and like you're saying, the hanging is canceled. I've been like, I'm going to Horror Nights. So, Hector told me recently, Danny, I think even told me, and I forgot who else told me like this past week. I believe it, man. The hanging I heard got like 10 minutes cut out of it, and I'm glad I got to see it in its full form. But I don't know. It's been hard to get me back out there to not. The only reason I would go to Knott's because I want to spend time with Danny. You know what I mean? But it's not Scary Farm itself. I don't know what it is. It's not calling my name. It's not. I just kind of rather go to Horror Nights. Should we both be trying? Yeah, have everybody try. Everybody try, in my opinion.
Yeah, everyone can try, but just make sure the people that are trying only have the people who are going in their app and no one else. No additional people.
We got XF. What are your thoughts on the crowd levels recently? And Multipass Lightning Lane was $39 per person yesterday. Easily will be over $40 come November, December. I didn't know it was $39. Damn. It'll be $50 by the time you know it. For me, crowds have been pretty busy, but like we're in Halloween, it's what is there to complain? People want to go to Disney during Halloween. I don't think it's been overly busy. I still believe though, Mondays and like Tuesdays have been the worst. But it's all related to, are the lower Magic Keys available? Well, probably that day will be busy. That's like your better indicator. Are the lower keys available? Yes, probably going to be busy. And it doesn't matter if it's Monday or Tuesday. It gets packed. How fast do you think Magic Key passes will sell out? Do you think they sell out fast, Danny? Everybody trying to buy a $1,800 pass?
Yeah, I feel like the cheaper passes will sell out really fast, and then the Inspire will stay on sale for a while, like it did last time.
Yeah, I think overall Disney wants you to buy Inspire. It's the most expensive. Yeah, I have a feeling the inventory of the lower key is going to be very small, and I don't doubt that they sell out in like 2 or 3 days. The lower keys, people are itching to buy them. The 70th, I think, will be a big draw, and Paint the Night. Just Paint the Night alone is like, people are going crazy over that. It's going to be a good year next year. How about the Dragon for Fantasmic? I've heard nothing. I still hope it comes next year or the year after, but I haven't heard anything. Fantasmic, to me, I've just like checked it out of my brain. Like, it's been a hard watch. The current version of Fantasmic, it's a really hard watch. It like doesn't demand my like, oh, I need to do this. Not in its current form. Any word when Magic Keys go back on sale? When was it again? I have it right here.
I think it's November
The
was
12th?
it 9th?
I have it right here. No, November 6th.
6th.
No earlier than 9 a.m. So if you're really trying to buy a Magic Key, November 6th, and start refreshing something, whatever page it is, like 15 minutes before, because sometimes people get in before. 4 more days till Halloween is over. That's so crazy. The Costco pumpkin pie. Do you think the 70th will be just as good as the 60th? Disney should consider bringing back 24-hour days. I almost feel like they'll never do it again, the 24-hour days. You felt the 60th, Danny. Can that be topped? Can the current Disney era top a 60th?
If they wanted to, they could. We'd have to get a totally new parade alongside a totally new, very epic fireworks show. Out of this world, amazing decor. Merchandise that just hit it out the park in every aspect. 60th on everything. And then amazing food offerings to tie it all together.
Because I'll tell you, the 100th definitely did not do that.
Yeah, I mean, it tried. It tried, right? It tried to add.
It tried.
It tried to add all those elements, and it didn't quite hit the same. In all reality, I wasn't a really huge fan of the 100th anniversary merchandise with that like pastel purple was like on everything. I don't know why they chose that color, but like the 60th was like silver, blue, shiny like diamonds on everything, and it just really, everyone really loved it. So if they can really lean into whatever the gemstone is for 70, that could be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited. The 70th, this is like, it ain't ever going to happen again. You know, it's one of those years. Frankie's Bride, 35 months. I'm so sorry. I missed it. I apologize. I don't know how I missed it, but thank you. Frankie's Bride. Hi, Mondo, Danny. Thank you for all the updates. Speculation Sunday, always so helpful. Mondo, is the Christmas Disney cruise a good value? I have to say, I haven't done it yet, so I can't like really be like, oh my god, it was, you know, the extra price we paid or whatever. And it's my first time doing a cruise from Florida, so I'm really curious to feel that, because it's different locations you travel to, and and different restaurants. It'll kind of feel similar because you're still on a cruise ship, but I'm
Yeah.
very excited. I'm very, very excited. I did Halloween. I would have done another Halloween cruise this year, but out of San Diego, they're not even cruising. There's no cruise out of San Diego this year. So that's why I didn't do a Halloween cruise. I loved everything about my Halloween cruise last year. And the fact that we even did trick or treating too, it was just like, it was amazing. I was like, I want to do this every year. They're not here every year in October. It sucks. But I could imagine a Christmas cruise will be worth every dollar. And not even that, all the memories you create. And I'm for sure going to buy the photo package thing so I could bring everything home with me, all the special memories and stuff. Uh, Disney cruise alone, I can't say enough good things about it. The only bad thing, you'll hear this from every person that goes on a Disney cruise, is you have to watch what you eat because you could just overeat galore. There's food everywhere on a Disney cruise.
Everywhere.
What do you do on a cruise? You're kind of just chilling and eating. So you just have to watch what you eat when you're on a cruise. But it's super worth it, Frankie's Bryce. Sorry for missing your member chat. Thank you so freaking much. How much will Oogie Boogie cost next year? $200. I don't doubt it, man. I'll be sad if it comes back. I'm not gonna go again. If it comes back again, I'm not going again. Are you missing Oogie Boogie this year? Where next year you're like, I'm gonna go, Danny?
No,
Or did you go to Oogie Boogie?
I didn't go.
Yeah. Was there any fear of missing out?
You had a ticket, I thought.
I did, and then we gave it to somebody. I did not
okay.
go. I went to Horror Nights. I'd rather go to Horror Nights than Oogie Boogie. I don't know. Oogie Boogie, I've already said my say on Oogie Boogie. It's a no for me, dog.
It's a no for me, dog.
Let me see. I think that's it. I don't have to go. I don't have to go into Universal or Knott's. There's not much to talk about. Definitely next week. But closing thoughts, Danny. Closing thoughts. Closing thoughts on everything.
Man, I just had a really great time exploring Bayou country, riding the ride, going to the country or the Hungry Bear barbecue jamboree. I honestly wasn't expecting a lot when it came about to this whole renovation of an existing land, Critter Country, and it just really everything works together really well, and I'm really excited now for some of the other changes we're going to be getting at Disneyland because I was just so impressed by what we saw, especially considering that people didn't have a lot of good things to say about Tiana's over at Walt Disney World, but then everyone's had nothing but good things to say about ours. So I think it took everyone by surprise just how good it was.
Yeah, I loved everything about Bayou Country. I can't wait to finally get it all flushed out with the actual merch of the ride and just the story with Ray's beret and then soon enough Lewis's. Disneyland's on fire right now. They're on fire. I like the direction that things are headed. The fact that we have those style of animatronics now at our Disneyland, the future is very bright for our theme park. And I'm glad to be part of it. I have a magic key for another year. And I'm excited to see what comes with the Walt animatronic and how that's going to be utilized.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
It's gonna be exciting. We have an exciting next year, and at the same time, a lot of construction, which that in itself will be exciting too. But man, what a time! What a time! Happy Halloween, everybody! Big thank you, Danny. Incredible live stream today, my friend.
Thank you.
If you guys haven't already, like Danny said, say it one more time, Danny. All the content that you got dropping.
Yeah, I filmed a video this weekend, so that'll be out this week for sure, of my experience at Tiana's and the barbecue and just everything new coming to Disneyland soon. And then I'll be releasing 3 episodes of podcast this week leading up to the last episode, which will probably end up coming out on the weekend. It's my guess.
Yeah.
And that's going to be with David Vaughn, which will be my 100th episode where David Vaughn, of course, was the person I started the podcast with when we first created the 5571. So he'll be returning to do the episode 100.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Another awesome Speculation Sunday. Please smash the like button on the way out. And thank you for supporting the fire. We are firing it down, firing it down. The Cali Bay and Just As Daddy are calling it a day. I'm the main host, Mod.